Willkommen back to Andertons
Willkommen?
TV.
No, I didn't know we'd gone that far.
So
Right,
I've opened our new German branch. Welcome back.
Hello.
Pete and me in the studio today to talk about the NUX. Finally got the pronunciation right. NUX MG-50Li, which, as far as NUX are concerned, is a flagship digital modeling guitar piece of wizardry. And as far as the sort of community is concerned, is actually super affordable. Like, right, it's like a quarter of the price of something like a Quad Cortex or whatever like that. So, and this feels almost like the direction it's going. Right, you got brands like NUX and Hotone and Moore and stuff kind of going like for 300 or 400 or 500 quid, you get crazy stuff. And anyway, right.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, it does what all this stuff does, right? So you've got tons of effects, amp models, IRs, blah, load them in, create patches, blah. Right? I mean, I sort of feel it's got to the point now, if we went through all of that every time we demonstrate one of these, we'd just be teaching you to suck eggs, right? It's just, it is what it is.
How do you suck an egg? Is that when you blow the thing out? You
That's
make a hole in the top?
Strictly speaking,
how do you suck an egg?
Strictly speaking, the phrase is teaching your granny to suck eggs. But quite why grannies are skilled at sucking eggs, I don't know where that saying comes from.
Please like and subscribe. Links below for this. If you want to use timestamps, skip ahead, do that.
I'm just going to tell you the things that we've spotted here that do feel like this maybe is doing some stuff that hasn't been done before by other units, right? So it has modeling, and it describes it as TS/AC-4K modeling. Don't know what that means, but it does modeling. It has profiling. Right, so like your Kempers and your Neurals and stuff, where you can attach your, mic up your guitar amplifier or use a load box or whatever. It has what's called deep image profiling, which is where you can profile up to 6 different models of an amplifier to merge them together to make one.
Like the head rush thing.
Yes.
Could do.
I do like that it has a rechargeable battery in it. I do like that you don't need to worry, wherever you are in the world, about having a mains supply for your gig. It talks about having massive processing power and being able to support up to 14 simultaneous effects blocks with all of the modern routing and series parallels, split different things on different outputs. It has a stereo IR engine. So whether you choose to use the internal IRs that come with it or load your own, and you can have a different one left and right.
Yes.
And it does support the new NAMM captures as well. Admittedly, seemingly at the moment, only the A1 ones rather than the A2 ones. But I did read something from NUX that they're working on that for a future firmware update. So where I do think this is a bit unique, I haven't seen a unit yet that on its own can do modeling, its own profiling, and load NAMM.
Yeah,
and stay tuned to this video, because at the end we're going to compare a model that we made of the Friedman Pink Taco versus a NAMM profile.
Pink Taco.
Sorry, not a model. A profile within here, of it versus a NAMM version of the same amp.
Yeah.
And they do sound a bit different, so stay tuned for that.
And what's the point of that now, Lee? Because now the NAMM stuff is getting so good. To what is the profiling thing? Do we need profiles anymore then?
Well, it is a profile, isn't it? But do we need units to be able to do profiling?
Because you don't really now. You can do it online instead. So you don't need this to do that. You can just.
So that's all the good stuff. We'll dive in with a quick negative, and then we'll get into some sounds. Right, it's not touchscreen.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels a bit. I think if you've come from an effects unit that hasn't got a touchscreen, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
If you've come from a unit that has got a touchscreen, you can be forgiven for pressing things and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It does, however, obviously work with an iPad. I will start screen recording this, but perhaps if I can just get a little mini close up here.
But you will need the little dongle which comes in the case. So that's included, but so don't lose that, because it goes into a special USB plug in the back.
And there are reasons for that. It also comes with these nipple protectors as well, which you can put on your switches if you want to. So that we didn't like the fact that it wasn't touchscreen, or not didn't like it, but it takes a bit of getting used to.
Yeah, you keep going into the thing, right?
And also as well, NUX, if you're watching, and I'm sure this is resolvable in a future update, I would like to have had more control over what colours I could get the switches to illuminate on. I couldn't, for example, in stomp mode, get the switches to illuminate to suggest whether or not I had an effect.
There's stump mode, so...
Should we just... Let's start screen recording, let's build a patch, and let's just show you roughly how it works. Because I kind of feel at this stage, there's just everything's in these and they all sound fine.
Yeah,
right. So,
I agree.
Okay.
It's a hefty unit. It seems like it's durable. I have to say that as well.
Okay, so let us go to, I mean, you can get an idea. These are all the presets, and clearly they've worked with some other artists and influencers to make presets, including, if we get to the end, I think there's some Chapper's stuff as well. If we get up to about number 80, I think, we'll get into the blank user patches. Here we go, users empty. So here's an empty screen. The signal chain starts sort of top left, where you can see it says in, goes to a stereo out at the end. I've got various different options here for how I might want my chain of effects to be put together, but really I'm just going to use the simplest one, which is start at the beginning and get to the end.
Like these videos?
Yes.
Start at the beginning, get to the end.
I normally, I think if you're used to doing that, you kind of know that you'd have an amp and a cab somewhere in the middle, and then you'd have certain effects before it and certain effects after it. So let's just do that. So we pick our block, we press the plus button in the middle of the screen, we choose what we want here. I haven't really listened to any of these yet, actually. But let's try Deluxe Reverb, right? Because Deluxe Reverb sound good. So there's our Fender Deluxe Reverb, and you can see I can choose which input it's plugged into, gain, bass, treble. If I press this second dot here, we've got some bias and level controls.
Slide that as well.
No, I couldn't. Oh, yes, you can.
Hello.
Fine. Now, interestingly, and I'm just going to say it as we see it here, and apologies if we get any of this wrong, it hasn't at this stage added a cab. And obviously, if you're not a sort of a reasonably familiar with how this stuff works, that might freak you out, because a lot of units do just automatically load a cab. But we want to load now a cab. That would be an IR. So
it says IRs, not cabs. That's again a little bit confusing. Just saying, you could say cab and then IRs. Those two could be split up in two.
Now, at the top of this screen here, see it says M1960 plus V30. That is my cab. And actually, if I scroll down, hopefully there's something slightly more appropriate. So F Fender Deluxe. I can,
this is very Fender, isn't it? From the Tone Master Pro.
From the Tone Master. So this is a little grid that allows me to fine tune that IR, so I can move the microphone, change how close it is to the speaker and how it's pointing at the speaker. I'm not going to mess with that.
But that is one IR for each of these little dots. Yeah, which
so
means
like
that
20 different IRs per.
So
wow.
I'm sure that's you get a little click when you.
Yep, and then you can sweep across, and again, you've got some change your microphones and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot going on here, right?
Lots.
But that's fine. There is an amp sound. Next, we might want to add some reverb.
Yes, please. Put a spring on here, because I want to see what the springs sound like.
So let's add that. We were messing around before with this, and we found a plate reverb that, again, similarly only had like 2 parameters for it. So it seems pretty basic in terms of, some people might go, I like that because it's simple. Others might find that they want a bit more control over what you can do. But yeah, so, adjust the control here. By the way, everything I'm doing here, I can absolutely do on the screen here, but because it's not touch screen, it's a little bit more fiddly using sort of knobs and buttons and stuff. But, so then we might decide that we want a bit of delay. Now, typically, again, you might go, oh, I want the delay before the reverb, but that's okay. You can, I believe, pick stuff up, and just move it around. This is all stuff that you can do on like any unit these days. We might want a little tube screamer or something in front of the amplifier. Where are my effects? Find something that looks green or screamery. There we go. Add.
I'll tell you also, this interface is very similar to all of the other NUX units. So that if you're used to one, you will be very familiar with this. There's a lot of delay on it.
I'll turn the delay down.
Intensity.
So That,
Ain't nothing
ladies
wrong
and
with that.
gentlemen, is what you do. And of course, you've got tons and tons of effects. If you want to see a full list of the effects that are on the NUX, go down into the description below, hit the link, and you'll see. But it'll just be everything nowadays.
This sounds all right, man. Oh, did you know this comes in 2 colors? A grey and a white one?
I didn't. I'd forgotten about that. Now, again, we have multiple modes in terms of, this is preset mode. If I go to stomp mode, let's just go on here and do stomp mode. So you
can just click that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, press that. Then what you did, if I remember rightly, was you choose your pedal using that, hit select, boom, and then tell it which pedal you want it to be.
Yeah.
So we want it to be pedal A. You can see a little A comes up underneath it. Come out of it, and then basically, if we're in stomp mode.
Oh wait, I need to go.
Sorry, you're right. If we're in stomp mode, then basically
But it doesn't light up here.
Yeah, I think that's an oversight, NUX. I would like this to be lit up.
And we couldn't work out if it did it or not.
All right, okay. And then the other mode. Now, obviously, of course, stomp mode. You've got A, B, and C plus your control pedal that you can assign to the stomp thing. Stomp doesn't just have to be a single pedal either. One single stomp can turn multiple pedals off. The other mode that digital users will have become familiar with is what's called the scene mode. Scene mode is useful because scene mode allows you to essentially press one button and completely change the setup within your pedals, including even the settings of each pedal.
Yeah.
And what's useful in scene mode is you don't get any of that kind of lag when you change presets, right? So I'm not going to go super into this other than to tell you it's got scene mode, it's got three scenes.
And it's quite clever because you could copy over here by copying that one scene and then copy it over to scene 2 and then just change stuff around.
So you decide. It's kind of out the box. The idea is that you create each scene from scratch, which, as Pete just mentioned, that's a bit annoying if you actually want each scene. That's kind of basically how it works, right? So go and, if you're a metal player, go and watch Ola England's video. If you like different kinds of music, go and find people demonstrating this. But you'll get an idea. I think that's, that is a perfectly decent, clean sound, isn't it? Really, just. And then you. We haven't shown them the tuner yet, did we?
No, let's try that.
Tuner, you can hold down here, and you've got a nice big display for your tuner.
It should say tuner down here. It says hold for looper, but not hold for tuner.
Where's the little plastic thing that it comes with? Oh, thank you, my glamorous assistant. Yeah, here we go. So look, this, I actually kind of feel some people will probably leave this on because it stops the screen getting damaged, and it's not touchscreen anyway, and then it does actually give you this little bit, hold for tuner, and it gives you a bit of an instruction as to sort of what it does. Anyway. I tell you what then, so it's got loopers and it's got jamming and all that kind of stuff. So let's save this. So you save it like this, and then you give it a name.
See, that's the thing, you have to dial around. Anyway,
it is a bit oldie-woldy like that, isn't it? So,
so are we, so.
This is true. One of the things I said I'd show you at the beginning was this idea of a comparison between an amp that we modeled using the profiling technology within here versus the same amp done through the Tone 3000 modeling.
Website, yeah. We both did here off that amp over there in the corner.
So here's a patch that we made using the Friedman pink taco in the corner there. We're using it with an IR. We didn't bother to sort of model it with the cab. We just modeled the head. And we did 2 identical models. One using the Tone 3000 website to create an A1,
it's the A1
A2
version,
thingy, profile. And the other, we used the NUX proprietary kind of profiling thing within here.
Yes.
And then we set up a scene. So if I go to scene mode, so within this scene, if this red block is lit up, that is using the profiling within here, which actually I've just reminded myself, NUX called imaging.
Imaging.
So this is...
but it says profile up there.
Okay, you're right. So that's the image. That's if it illuminates that second amp block up there, that's the Tone 3000 one.
Yeah.
So this is a sort of gainy thing. We've got, in fact, let me just turn if I turn the tube screamer and that's it. So a little bit of reverb, and we're using an IR, same IR on each. And here is the Tone 3000 one.
So whether you do it one way or the other, no.
I think
the amp would be the preference for me, but you know what I'm like.
I think image
sounds a bit more open. So the
image is a bit fizzier, a bit more top
compressed.
End,
yeah,
maybe a bit more. I don't. Yeah. Do you know what? I tell you what. The lower the volume, the harder it is to hear any difference.
Yeah.
I think the NAMM profile is slightly more realistic.
Yeah, I think it's slightly more better.
And that is crazy, really, because what we're basically saying is the free one.
I guess it's like...
Do it again. So this is the image.
And we use the aux box for both of them on the same direct setting with all the same. So I prefer the NAMM profile.
Yeah.
That's just me. And that's just the A1 version, is not the A2. It's not the A2 Lite, which is supposed to be even better.
This is very true. This is very true.
So that's what I'm saying.
I mean, we can put a stomp box on with either of those.
Stomp away.
They're both very good. I mean, that is kind of what the Pink Taco sounds like. It's supposed to be a sort of a driven, martially kind of sound. Like Pete says, nothing quite like having the real amp through a proper cab. But it's
Dude, the gig I did over the weekend, I was standing right next to the drummer. I had 2 amplifiers, 3 cabinets, so a 212 and a 112. And I was standing right next to the drummer, and he was smacking it hard, man. And when I got in the car afterwards at 1 o'clock to drive home, it was just like... And I'm like, yes, this was worth it. Because it's all gone away now, but it was just worth it to fall asleep to the good old tinnitus. There
is a looper in here. We will probably end with a loop, but I guess we've been a little bit light on sounds here, haven't we?
Yeah, let's have some sounds and see what. So there's a lot here that are done in collaboration with other people.
Yeah, it's all lots of people's initials that I don't know who they are. Who are you people? So apologies, and this is all random. So let's see what we get.
Clean. So. I mean, personally, too much effects. I can't really hear the sound out of that, so whole PDC.
I think there's a lot. If you're just messing around at home, right? You make the stuff as wet as you like. It's kind of alright.
Dry, wet. So one is
good sound.
It's a good sound. So one obviously is wet and one is dry.
Interesting.
The beta box.
You want that one, do you?
Yeah, let's beat the box. Oh, it's like a... Eagle. Jocko J. Mayer.
I think, you know the guy that we meet on the side stand every year?
I think that's
him, isn't it?
It's a A lot of reverb.
Slow dancing in a burning massive cave.
Yeah, slow dancing in a massive cave. There must be, there's some, go back into that, because you see there's scenes in there, wasn't there? So there's different scenes. So if you go into scene mode.
Too much reverb, but pretty good. I mean, I quite like it. What else we got here?
Tremolux there. Let's have the Tremoluxes.
Right at the top.
Yeah.
Taylor's done some.
90s metal.
Taylor Chungus.
That's a great church sound, that.
Stell Dreamland. I like these kinds of sounds.
That's good, man. It's impressive how much volume difference there is between the various.
Yeah.
That's nice. I can definitely.
We could be here all day doing this, so we'll.
Oh, there's lots of those blue
lead.
Let's try Chapper. See what
Come
it does.
on then, Chapper shred.
Greetings.
You know what? I tell a lie. So it's basically they just repeat themselves for some reason.
Yeah.
Like it gets to 40
and then it
goes again, and then it gets to 80 and you get to the user bench. We'll finish up with showing you the looper. There are again within the app. There's Bluetooth player and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, right, so you can jam along.
Well, that has to be done with a USB cable. I'm guessing there's too much Bluetooth going on between the two units or whatever.
It's not fast enough, I don't think.
So if you want to stream music from your device into here, it's got to be connected via a cable. Anyway, let's just show the looper, which again you can access from the iPad if you want to, but we hold these down.
There it is.
There's the loop, and then so A is your basic record stop button, B is clear, pause and clear, C is exit. So I think actually, this would just be my personal opinion, right? The lower end of the market, this is 100% going to be crazy popular because you're going to go from your, Vailton, I think, are just killing that whole 100 to 200 pound kind of thing. And then the Vailton kind of tops out around about the 250 mark. This then feels like this is about 370, 380. So this just totally feels like, yeah, that's another level above what Vailton are doing. It's got tons of stuff in it. It's all very cool.
It looks good.
Then you've got this sort of void of, I suppose there's a few bits, aren't there? There's Boss are still playing around in that sort of, between 500 and 1,000. Yeah, a little bit of head rush. Maybe Helix, the older generation Helix stuff playing around in there. But I'm not sure any of those have got anything to offer that you're not getting in this. And then it goes into your sort of pro, whatever. What does pro even mean now? I mean, I guess if you're a pro player and you have one of these, it's pro, right? But you know, your Neurals and your
Pro.
Kempers and Fractals and sales of the MG50 have been really strong. So obviously a lot of the people have also gone, and I think I get that, because I kind of feel nothing has offered you this unless you were spending £1,000 or more before.
No.
The game-changing stuff now is how good that tone
and the AI, and you just tell it to get a sound and it just makes it. My question has always been with these units that can profile or take, you know, images. If you don't have the amps at home, you don't need this.
I totally agree.
Then what's the point? That's when you need the NAM profiles, because they're online. You just download them into it. But if you don't have this lineup at home, what do you need this thing for?
For me, that's where NAM. That's where the NAM can win.
And then let somebody else do it.
Because we actually, in fairness, we did do the profile. We didn't include it in the video, the actual doing it, because it was pretty simple. Like 2 minutes of sitting here looking bored. But it is pretty simple, like Pete said. You do need a load box, though.
Yeah, you need a load box, and you need a speaker if you want to listen back to it. And it doesn't take long.
I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't buy this thinking, oh, whoopee, I'm going to go and profile all my own amps, because I would just use the NAM Tone 3000 thing to profile my amps if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Or I'd just buy them or download them from someone. I tell you what, I do massively still would prefer about the neural stuff. I've got so used to using touchscreen now, to go back from not having touchscreen just annoys me.
And then Kemper doesn't have touchscreen, do they? Still.
That's the most ancient looking hardware, isn't it? Anyway, look, that's the end of our video.
But it still sounds good.
Links below. You choose which colour suits your rig most, white or grey. And
what's your mood like today?
Yes. Thank you very much. Please comment below, and we'll see you. Oh yeah, these are on offer as well at the moment. If you fancy a funky looking HSS Strat, links for that below as well.